going on? Oh, shoot. We'll give it a few minutes. What up, brother? Joseph, what's up, brother? Chris, what's up, man? Just got back from the boys' band concert. Cool. Right on. To go good? So I use the, it's not what I'm doing during this live feed, but my OCD kicks in and I'm like, oh yeah, I had that thing I need to do. And so, like, as we kind of wait a second to kind of let the live chat build up a little, um, yeah, these are the days of our lives. This drama is unreal. And I feel like I was like a fortune teller last night. And I'll explain what I mean. But what I'm doing right here, I'm going to do a lot of this stuff. I'm going to start my membership thing. Um, and just kind of want to give a bit of a heads up before and everything. I'll do it as cheap as I can. We'll see what it lets me do. And I'm going to move over like tips and tricks stuff over to there and, you know, focus on techniques and for extra kind of content. But I use this knot. Same thing, alpine butterfly or circus knot. Those are two really, really good like midline knots. That way if you had to connect something in the middle of a line, it's a knot that can be pulled from any direction and it doesn't slide. So I'm curious when you do the 3 wrap thing. So this trick with 3 wraps on your hand, this works for alpine butterfly knot or the circus knot. So I sometimes I'll do an alpine butterfly. There's just days where my brain like spaces out and I forget the steps for some reason. So then I go back to the alpine butterfly. But I want to know which one of these 3 do you like connect a carabiner to or a ring to attach it? Because I know there's one of them is going to be the one that you could connect the line to, or connect like a clip to it. So this doesn't make sense because you could say tie it and then clip it on, but I'm talking about like a rigging beaner, and I would like to use this, but so I'm gonna, for the circus knot, you take the middle one, lift it up, reach under, grab the first one, pull it up, reach back, grab the last one, pull it up, reach there, grab the front, pull it up, and then you take it and dress it out, and you end up, here I'll leave it loose so you can kind of see. If you look here, you end up with like an alpine butterfly, or a bowline here, a bowline there, and a bowline there. So that's why some people will call the circus knot a triple bowline. I've heard it called that, and it does make sense because of that. So, but this is the one this is what you end up with, and it's super easy to untie. You just, the first lever there, you break that, and then you can untie it. But as I was showing you guys that, I forgot to pay attention to what the one was that I'm supposed to get the clip in. Vanch, how are you? Alright, so So it's the middle. Yeah, it has to be. Okay, that makes sense because you end up grabbing all three lines and pulling them through before it's all said and done when you do that, and you end up with that as your knot. So I'm gonna see if I'm right real quick, and then we'll get into what the live feed actually is about. So once again, 3 wraps on my hand. 1, 2, 3. Even the wraps out, and then I'm gonna clip that on. So how I reached, pulled that up, grab this one, then grab that one, then reach back and grab that one. Yeah, that's right. Okay. And that's actually pretty clean the way that works out. I like that. I've never took the time to to figure that out. Usually I'm like up in a tree and I need to anchor a beaner or something to it. So I don't even think about it. I'm like, I'll figure that out one day when I'm on the ground. I got some rope in my hand or something, but yeah, that's good to know. So, and you could, after you get that in there, you could dress and it, but I would just tie it smaller if you want it smaller. We usually stick a stopper knot in too. Near the end. So I would rig off that. Okay. How about the Rosalind hitch? Yeah. Okay. So we talk about that silly kind of drama that goes on with metal and wood. So recently he's been really going through it with his buddy Fabs Acres, and they're going back and forth. Steve, like, I mean, I don't know. They're definitely different, but I guess you could always just do it like that. And anchor the line off to it like that. That probably is better as long as you're not messing with the gate. But I don't know. Yeah. That's my brain not being able to pay attention right now. So all right, let's get into it. So I honestly, I'm just gonna say, I feel like I'm a pretty damn good read of bad people. I've dealt with so many in my life that I just know. And plus, I'm a person that's like, I'm not just good with you kind of wronging me. Like, I want to know why. Like, what was the reason? And I've had, because you know, if you're a person that like it sounds ridiculous to call yourself a nice person, um, but I enjoy being a nice guy. I like helping people. So like, there's those people that you run into in life that will be like, oh, I'm about to take advantage of this guy. And there's a lot of those people. And I'm sure there's a lot of nice people out there that get taken advantage of. Taken. Um, maybe Steve's one of them guys. Or maybe Fabs is one of them guys. But I'm going to call out when I see something where I just feel like all of it's, you just both looking shady, then that's just the way it comes off. I don't have no skin in the game. I don't really give a damn who's right, who's wrong. I just see shady activity. And I'm going to get into it a little further here. So, yesterday, I pointed out that I felt like Steve was freaking when the video come out of the Husqvarna 372 clone saw that you can buy from Saws on the Farm, that you could buy this chainsaw for less than $200. So I'm like, huh. Just a second. Alright. So I'm like, that's weird. I bet you Steve's gonna freak when he sees this video, because at the end of the video the guy had the saw ripping pretty good. He didn't have to replace any parts. He just got the chainsaw, pulled it out of the box, had to adjust the carb a bit, but got it firing, and put some gas in it. That's it. So he got a chainsaw that is a replica 372 that sounds really good, looked like it ran really good, and we'll see how long it lasts. But that's just the truth of the matter. Yeah, that's what he got that chainsaw for, and that's just, you can't, that just is what it is, man. He found a replica chainsaw that's just like yours. They're both replicas. So there's no yours is better, his is better. Like, you got to stop trying to paint these weird narratives and like up your stuff like it's even better than it is. If it's good, it will speak for itself. If it's not, then what you need to do is you need to, it's like positive reinforcement for a kid. You're trying to beat it into people's heads so much that you have such a quality product that they wouldn't dare complain. They would just think there's something wrong with them if it didn't work. So I feel like that's kind of how Steve goes about things. His stuff is so top notch. It's the best of the best of the best. And he gets to comparing it to other stuff, original parts, original products, and says it's just as good, if not better. That's where I'm like, I don't agree with that. And I don't agree with the pricing, but I don't know what he goes through, what he pays, what all he has to do. So that's his business. He can do whatever he wants. So Steve uploads Steve uploads a video, or no. First, the saws on the farm. He puts out his video, and I see that Steve commented under it, and he, like, the guy, when he first opened the saw. This told me Steve did not watch the whole thing almost, or he just couldn't help but comment right in the first like couple minutes of the video. The guy's like, it looks okay, but we'll see if it runs good. And Steve instantly jumped on there, left a comment that said, it's going to run fine. You just need to buy this, and these are the parts you must have. Like, he's the boss in this whole thing. Like, he's the expert to go to. And I don't understand that like personality trait that he's got. It's a bit off for me. John, what's up, my guy? But we'll build the whole thing and it'll, yeah, exactly. So I see Steve leaves that kind of passive aggressive comment like he's the man on this guy's video, and then instantly Steve puts out a video where he talks about he just randomly needs to portray what his objective is for these products in ProMax. And so he puts out a video explaining that you can buy saws for cheaper, but he's went there and fixed all these problems, which there's proof the guy did go there. I mean, maybe he did. Maybe he fixed all these problems and he deserves to make all kinds of money because of it. I don't know, but he is just telling you that, hey, this is a good product that you could just pull it out. And where he loses me is he says, and it's pro grade, and I have all the all of like the field time on it. Like the guy's been using it forever. I got all the proof, and I've not seen any of that. I've never seen any professional guys that are like, dude, um, yeah, Steve's got the best saws. I seen one dude that looked like maybe he ran a lawn service that was using the saws, but you know, to each their own. But you kind of lose me when you do that. I want to try to keep up. Even my friends, busy week. Then firewood for the rest of the... Right on. Okay, so what up, Jay? So I'm like, okay, now I see what Steve's doing. He's trying to justify when people start seeing that video, because the dude's video was doing good, the saws on the farm. If people see that, he's trying to get in front of, you know, do damage control, get in front of it, explain to people why his stuff costs so much more, and this and that. And that's where I'm like, oh God, here he goes again. So he puts that video out. Now, at this point, him and Fabs are best buddies. They are tag team partners, and they are taking on the entire Chainsaw Cult. Chainsaw Cult, which is the people that don't say what Steve wants them to say. Those are the Chainsaw Cult, I think. I don't know. He's never really told me who's the cult boss or anything like that. But you guys figure that out. I don't really know. So him and Fabs are best buddies. Well, Fabs talks him into sending him a chainsaw, and he doesn't want to pay. Like, he wants buddy price. Like, come on, we're partners. And apparently Steve says, well, I got one here that I've used, and I'll send you this one. It's got a bent, or maybe it wasn't even used. Maybe it was new, but it had a bent dog on it. He says, you know, it's got a bent dog, but he tells, apparently, let's just say Fabs gets a saw from him, and then puts out a video that angers Steve, where he points out all the flaws in the chainsaw. And I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. That's crazy. Fabs is putting out this video. If it's not that great and you have bad things to say about it, like, I just didn't hear him be like anything that was good about it. And then he went into like talking about the price of it and this and that. And he did. He kind of, if Steve was your buddy, like he took up for you and got you into arguments, and you guys tag teamed together to the point that people were saying, questioning y'all's sexuality together. You were that close. You guys were buddies. So Steve gave you a chainsaw. Didn't give it to you. He sold you a chainsaw. Because I want to be correct with what I say. The Steve, yeah. So I don't have an issue with either one of them. I don't. They don't. Neither one of them bother me. I just you're doing sus activity, and stop trying to like mind fuck people and to believe in what you want. The world doesn't work that way, man. Like, and I am a read of like shady activity. I feel like I got an eye for it, and I seen it happening. What's up, Dan? So I wake up this morning and Fabs and Steve are making videos against each other. They're no longer friends. They don't like each other. Steve puts out 2 videos. I seen both of them, and he's pulled them off of YouTube, or they've been flagged or pulled down. Fabs comes on my lives, and I'm not surprised if he's here now. Well, that's fine. Like, I mean, he could be here. It's not no sweat off, not no sweat off my back. I could care less. I'm just stating fact. This is what happened. This is what you both put out. So, Steve put out 2 videos, responding to Fabs. Both are no longer viewable. So, this is what Steve says. Steve says, oh, Steve and Fabs together, between their videos, I finally get the info that the Steve is selling 372 replicas for $700. That is what it is. And I told you guys last night, if the saw costs $200, under 200, and Steve is trying to justify 500, Steve is putting out videos saying you got to put $500 worth of parts into one of them saws to get it up to, and I'm like, why would he say $500 worth of saws or parts to get that saw up to quality? I was like, that's weird. There's a reason for it, because there's a reason for everything that you're talking about. Very methodical people. They try to, I'm a good guy, I'm honest, I'm this. But you can tell a person that's very methodical and they think every little move out. And I'm like, dude, you come off as a weirdo in my book. Like, that's not my style of person. But because I feel like if you're doing that, you've got bad intentions at times. And you just want to think it out so detailed so you can get in front of it. And so why is Steve saying you need $500 in those parts in those saws to get them up? Well, if it's actually cost $200, and he says, we get $700. I said it last night in the live feed before any of this happened. I bet you he's selling those chainsaws for about $700. That would just be my guess from what I'm watching. And I'm like, well, maybe I'm wrong though. Sure as shit, I get up this morning, they put their videos out. Fabs, for some reason, in his video, he doesn't want to say, in his video, he doesn't want to say what he paid for it, but he'll tell you what Steve sells them for. Which I'm like, that's weird, dude. Why would you even do that? Why are you talking prices of these saws right now? That's really kind of weird. But each their own. None of my business, you know. That's $1,000. I'll buy another $500. Yeah, I know. So yeah, it got really, really weird. So you could run your saw over with your pickup and probably still not need them parts. That's what I'm saying. But this is what Steve says, and I knew there was a reason for him saying it. That type of person, that's just what they do. He thinks these videos out before he does them. They may seem very off the wall, kind of crazy. Notice he's always got a weird little saying that he puts into it, or a song that he's like gonna. It's always weird, thought out stuff, and that kind of person always throws up red flags to me. And I'm like, I don't know if I like that. I think Steve probably is a good dude, just in general, probably a good dude, but that kind of stuff's weird to me. And this, he doesn't want to say his price, but what he'll do is he will give you his phone number and you can call him. The reason you wouldn't tell one person a price, or you wouldn't tell everybody a price, is because you switch it. And you'll charge one person a different price. Why wouldn't you just say your price? You spend all your time saying, I sell chainsaws. This is what I do. I'm selling chainsaws. How much, man? That's weird. Why are you not being upfront and honest with people? You say you're an honest guy. I'm an honest dude, he says. I don't know if it's reciprocated, though, and it's like that for everybody. No. So, once again, there's a reason you're not. I don't know what it is. Only you know what that is. Why you don't want to tell your price. But when Fabs did it, I think that made Steve extra mad. So Steve put out a video. He says, yeah, I've been bamboozled. You know, this dude, down, I don't know where Fabs lives, but the dude up north, he did me wrong, and you guys were right. Everybody was right. Randy Evans, you were right. Now Steve is like, oh, well, maybe I want to hang out with those guys. Yeah, exactly. There was two of them, because I seen them both, and then I couldn't go back and see them again and write down some notes for it. And I'm like, because there's no way you're catching a person doing anything wrong that's like him unless you are breaking it down. Like, you literally got to be like, because if not, they're sly, man. They're so smooth. They just think, people on the internet, you can just manipulate them. They don't know nothing. You treat me like I'm stupid is the worst thing you could do, because then all I want to do is prove that you're shady now. So we go on. My next note is I was 100% correct about Steve squirming about that saws on the farm video 300 or the 372 for less than $200. So Steve always tries to give his like little expert opinion on parts, because when him and Fab got going back and forth, Fab talked about the chainsaw, and we'll go into what Fab said after we do Steve. But Fab looked at the saw, said, had like a list of stuff that you need to do, which is just, that's weird. Like, you didn't say, like, if Steve's your buddy, you say, this is a good chainsaw. This is a good chainsaw. So, and my buddy hooked me up on it too, because when we get to like reality here, Steve sells them for $700, and he gave it to you for less than half of what he sells them for. So Fabs wasn't coming out looking too bad in this deal. He got a pretty good deal, a buddy deal. So when you get a buddy deal, you treat him like a buddy afterwards. Thank you, COVID. Thank you. That's the first time I ever said that. Thank you, COVID. That's wild. But yeah, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Much appreciated. So I'm like, well, Steve's now breaking down his saws to show you that they're quality parts. And he's giving his opinion on why it's a quality part and this and that. And your opinion is, I don't know. That's the part where he also loses me. Like, maybe he probably is the top notch when it comes to knowledge on Chinese replica chainsaws. I don't know. You probably got other guys that do and know way more. But that's kind of silly. But he's got a lot of them. Like, maybe he does know some stuff. But stupid fucker probably hasn't even seen his picture. I don't know why he's trying to have some sort of a contest. Yeah. I mean, if that's what he wants, he's had a chance where he could have buddied up to the chainsaw cult, but instead he wants to sue everybody. He's still about this suing thing. I don't like it. I don't like any man, unless someone has physically stole something from you, came and took it out of your hands, destroyed your property, stuff like that. You, as a man, a real man doesn't say, I'm suing you. That's just not what we do. That may be what you do nowadays, but maybe I'm different. And let me be clear, both these gentlemen are older than me. So I feel like I can't say, well, my generation, that ain't what we do. Because I'm sure the generation before that, and the generation before that, and the generation before that, I'm pretty sure that's not what men did anyway. So both Steve and Fabs were, I think, talking about they were suing everybody at one point, which is just wild to me. Like, that both of them were in, and that's where they got really close. They became real good buddies. So Steve was offended. Steve got his feelings hurt when he gave a dude who he thought was his buddy a chainsaw for less than half of what he sells them for. And his buddy didn't really say anything good about it. He just kind of dogged on it. So, you know, I get where Steve's coming from. I'm going to be straight. I'm not saying this because I'm not taking anybody's side. I don't care. I'm just watching it. You put it on the internet, I react. That's kind of the way this whole gig works. But so Steve got his feelings hurt. That's if we're just gonna get down to the brass tacks. He got his feelings hurt. So I go back and I look. I'm like, huh? I thought, dang, just the other day, like Steve loved how Fabs was a rude asshole to other people, and just loved how he wanted to like always, he would get in front of stuff. He was aggressive. Like he was what Steve wasn't. Steve's very timid. I'll sue you. Fabs is more in your face, aggressive. That's why I was surprised when he was involved in saying he was suing somebody then. And I'm like, what? This is all crazy. Like, none of this makes any sense. So, I'm like, he loved the way Fabs was getting on people, but now he's making videos talking about that dude down there and the way he's so always arguing with everybody. And there, I should have listened. I should have listened, but he did me wrong. He did me to like that victim mentality BS. Like, get over it, dude. If you guys aren't friends, you aren't friends. Don't start making these videos, which you did make them. You made them, buddy. I seen them. Ground pounder. That's the truth right there. So you made the videos. I commented on one. I guarantee you, when I got the notification, I clicked on it instantly. I've been waiting for it. I was like, oh my God, yeah. As soon as I clicked on it, there it was. I'm like, okay, 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 watch it. Okay. At the end, I thought I said, you and Fabs were friends just yesterday or just the other day. And I put a little sad emoji with a little tear. Maybe I was trolling a little bit, but I wasn't mean about it. I was very curious. I want to know why. Now, I thought you guys were buddies. So I go back to check my comment, and the video's gone. Because YouTube doesn't always notify me when people respond back on my comment, so I have to go in and check it. That's why I was going in to check it. But video's gone. So then Fabs puts up another video because he probably seen the video. So he puts up a response video and he calls them both Chainsaw Diaries, which is pretty funny because he just went and stole Steve's name to his video and made it his. Which, right on, dude. Like, I guess that's gangster, maybe. I don't know internet gangster. Like, I don't know how to be internet gangster. That's my problem. That's where one of these days maybe I'll learn, but I don't know how to be internet gangster. I would have a better shot being like real gangster. So like I get that one, but I don't get this one. So like it may be gangster to do what he did. I don't really know, but that's up for your opinion on the thing, the way you perceive the whole thing, I guess. But Steve says that his saws are half the price of a dealership because he's breaking his saws down now because Fabs has called him out, and these videos are coming out of these chainsaws that are less than $200, and he starts to squirm and worry. So he's putting out a video and he makes it clear his chainsaws are half the price of a dealership. Let me read this comment. Backpack blowers? No compression. And for a while. Huh. Yeah, is it one of them ones with the easy start, John? Those easy start things, I don't like because you can't tell compression with those. Those ones where you pull it out and then it goes back in. Because if it's one of them kind of backpack blowers, it's got that easy start thing. I hate those things. Yeah, I don't have any backpack blowers. I always felt like my regular blower was just as powerful as a backpack blower. And the backpack blowers are always heavy and they cost more. Look, I don't know what I'm getting in like on mine's, but no, I'm a cheapskate. I'm a poor dude and it costs more. Like, tell the truth. I'm sitting here trying to lie now. So he says his costs. We can break this down. Let's do this. His chainsaw costs less. The problem is we have numbers now, and this is what I like. I love numbers. I get numbers. So this is where it kind of gets fun for me. We're $700. Okay, we know. We've got it, and it's established. Fabs decided to let all of us know that it is $700 for a chainsaw, a 372 from Steve. So I don't even have to get on the internet and look it up. You wanna know why? Because my guy over there at Saws on the Farm, who is a good old boy, I like that dude. Check his channel out. Very like family friendly. Even if you're not even allowed to leave like comments with cuss words. Like he's trying to do something different over there, and I like it. So check him out. May not be everybody's cup of tea, but I think he puts out pretty good stuff. But he puts out the video, and then we get to find out what you can get one of them knockoff 372 chainsaws. So John Bob, what up, brother? So we got old Steve here. And we got $700. Then we got I thought it was going to be like SOB or something, so I'm glad it wasn't. So farm mess 200. And we should put, I guarantee you got to pay shipping and shit with Steve or something. Like, it's probably a little over $700. So we have this here. So we have Steve selling his saws for $700, and Saws on the Farm just bought one for less than $200. So Steve says his stuff's 5 times less. So we can do this pretty easy. Or no, he says his is half the price of a dealership. So a new one, $1,100 now? Okay. We have $1,100. No, here's where the problem comes in. This is you're not even getting me to spell it. But Husqvarna All right, $1,100. All right. So dealership, right? Okay, so we've established. So I don't even really got to do anything else here. This really gives us our whole answer. I don't have to make another math problem down here because none of this shit matters. You can't compare yours to a dealership because your dealership is China, homeboy. Your dealership is China. So, for yours to be half the price of the dealership, you would have to be selling chainsaws for $100. because you can get them for less than 200. Your dealership is China. It's you don't compare your price to Husqvarna's price. That's not the way things work. John Bob, you headed out? Hey, thanks for stopping in, brother. Appreciate you. So, that's weird, huh? So, it went from, Steve gave us a math problem. His is half the price of a dealership. Well, when your dealership is China, yeah, I know, but it's all been gone through, yeah, I bet. It's been, I don't care. Like, you're just comparing dealerships. Yours is $700. This guy just got one for less than 200. So, I would say that the actual answer is Steve's price in comparison. I'm staying all straight and perfect. Okay, the real answer? He's not half the price of a dealership. He's 5 times the price of a dealership. Come on, dude. If you're going less than $200, it's probably like $150. His probably a little over. Like, okay, let's be gentle on him. He's 4 times the price. Come on. You can't change fact, man. You can't. Stop trying to compare your price. That's okay. You want to know why a person would do that? Why would a person compare their price to a dealership? Okay, that would be like, okay, I'm selling cars because I feel like we got the car salesman vibe going on here. I'm selling cars. And I'm selling cheapest little cars, little neons, little neons, those little Aveos, like the cheapest of the cheap of the cheap, or even used. And what I do to sell you is tell you how cheap my saw is. Don't forget the extended and the little pamphlet and the extended warranty, and you get like an extra chain or something. Like, Fabs is pissed off because he didn't get all the little plastic toys. So, like, you ain't pleasing everybody. So, I don't know how to feel about any of that. But if the way he's doing this, that would be like a used car salesman comparing their prices to a new Lexus dealership. That's the comparison you're making. They're not in the same game. So, of course, the price over here is astronomical in comparison. So, yeah, I want to boost mine up as high as I can get it. So, I want to compare it to this. Get out of here, man. Get out of here with that. Stop doing the shady stuff. That threw up a red flag. When you start comparing yourself to the name brand, dealerships, when you're trying to get rid of a Chinese replica knockoff, get out of here. I don't care what name you put on it, what pretty little sticker and what it says. Don't change what it is and where it came from. Just like you could be a good person deep down, but like, everything's not going to work your way. You're giving off this vibe of being very shady over here. So it makes it hard to believe that deep down you're a real good person when you're always doing shady things. So I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. I hope everybody's got good in them. So I think Steve could be a good dude. I think Steve just got to figure it out on his own. But I think he's taken the longest route to try to gain respect and like of his peers and the people that he wants the respect from. And it's obvious, dude. So just stop always trying to boast your stuff. I don't know if Steve knows who he is. Like, one minute he like wants to be cool with somebody, next minute he's getting offended. Um, I don't know. I don't know. And it can't always just be everybody else, because let's be honest. There was a dude originally that used to build his chainsaws for him, that used to be like this cabinet builder, and he built his own house. Kevin the Welder, I think was his name. That dude's not around anymore. There's no regular characters except for in Jawa. And that guy refuses to show his face on camera. So I'd rock a shooting down at the time. Yeah, I mean, if you use it, got it. You know, if you use it, got it. If you got it, use it. That's yeah. Um, dude, it's just who's retarded might be next. No, I don't know. There's got to be something going on, because he lets Steve treat him like a dummy, like his little toy, and like, do as I tell you, and like, I'm gonna take the credit of everything you do. And so, but hey, if those two are cool with their friendship, that is what it is. That's not any of my business. I don't like some of the sus stuff that he says when they're like together alone, just because the video, there's a lot of people watching. You two are still alone with each other, making really creepy comments back and forth. So it's probably stuff that you probably just shouldn't put on the internet, but that's why people start questioning stuff. So let's see. All right, so yeah, that's not true. You're not like the real truth. Like, yeah, if it was ever possible to compare um, products like that, I guess if you can build that bridge from so far, like, I don't see where you can even compare them to, but hey, that's your thing. So 3 weeks ago, Steve wanted to thank Fabs. He put out a video where he's dissing all the guys out there that do porting. You know, the porting's a waste of money. You know, thanks to Fabs, he's going to show me. And this is where I start to believe Fabs, where they had maybe an agreement that Fabs was going to, what did Fabs call it? He was going to improve on the chainsaw stock. So maybe some parts that could be switched out to give it performance. And this is where I believe Fabs, because that's what he's saying. But some of the stuff kind of don't really, like, and I'll get into it, but, you know, just 3 weeks ago, Fabs is the man, you know, and they're against the chainsaw cult, and they're going to show you all that you don't need that silly port work. Whatever, man, that's weird. But now, today, he's building a bench, a chainsaw bench, so they can do porting. So sometimes Steve is very wishy-washy and flippy-floppy with his opinions, but I don't know. So he says that he does not care if he sells a chainsaw. And in the same damn breath says that he sold hundreds of chainsaws. Then he says, I don't care if you buy a single chainsaw from me. And then in the same breath he says, I just filed a federal lawsuit because these guys are messing with my ability to sell chainsaws. So it's frustrating when you watch somebody talk out of both sides of their mouth. It's very hard to keep up with, but the truth is the truth. Once again, I don't understand it. So if you disagree with his prices, his actions, or, you know, his false info, you could end up in this lawsuit, according to him. That's the lawsuit is the thing that I can't respect Steve until that's over with. Like, maybe I can, like, legit respect Steve. He's trying to hustle a thing up here and do his thing, and I don't have no problem with it, and I don't have to like you to respect you. But I can't even respect him as of right now. But, you know, who am I? You know, who cares? You probably don't care. Um, but Steve likes to make these very vague statements where he's like, his things are more reliable. This is a more reliable part we switched it out with, and ProGrade and stuff. So it's those, I don't even know, they have a term for it where they're like, I don't know, like hidden meanings to these little words and stuff. So, love my 260 beast. What's up, Daniel? All right, brother. So now we get into Fabs. And Fabs likes to talk. So I feel like I have a lot of stuff here. So here we go. We know Steve's opinion. Now what about Fabs? So Fabs contacts Steve. Hey buddy, I want a chainsaw. But I don't want to pay full price. Like I want a buddy to hook me up. Maybe he didn't say I want a discount. Maybe he said, just hook me up. Come on, hook me up. I want to get one of them saws. Because I think originally, if you look back in the library of Steve's channel, there's times where he was maybe not agreeing with Fabs. And I've seen comments where Fabs was saying, give me a free chainsaw. Back when everyone was doing it. Because Steve was like, I'll give chainsaws out to him. So people were like, okay, give me one. Anybody's going to do that. People didn't really think you're going to send them a free chainsaw. But if you start to say you give them out, okay, send me one. If they're entertained by your chainsaw stuff, sure they want one for free. Well, I would. So turns out Fabs gets his chainsaw. And he gets it for $300. The reason we know this is because Steve let us know. Steve got mad. You put my pricing out, but you wanted to hide what I gave it to you for. And you wanted to kind of diss on it and like talk about it needs this. And Fabs had his own little side gig. It seemed like he was trying to do where he was going to sell these chainsaws. And I feel like Steve maybe got offended by that. I don't know what Fab's intentions were there. At one point, he was showing a list of parts, and then he was saying, I can get these chainsaws, not from Steve, from someone else, for this price, and I can put all these parts on it, and we can retail it at this. So he then, this is before I think Steve and him were even mad at each other. At that point, Steve's like, he's trying to compete with me now. This is what's going on. And I'm like, oh, shoot, this is going to get juicy. So I feel like Fabs played nice and buddy with Steve, almost glazing Steve at times. Because I watched Fabs stir stuff up like, I was seeing him go to Steve and tell him things that people were like back when that was all first going on. He was kind of stirring the pot. It is what it is. You can stir the pot if you want. Like, but I seen it, and it's facts. Like, I watched it happen. It happened to me. So I see him kind of stirring things up, and I'm like, okay, well, whatever. So I don't really like the way this happened. So if him and Steve are buddies, he shouldn't have made any video that was negative in any way to Steve's product. And that's where Steve got offended. And I'm like, But so Fabs in the video, like, and he puts out multiple videos. He points out in the comment section, Steve comes back and says, well, I think this and this. And they start to have like a disagreement. And Steve's mad. He's offended. And Fab says, hey, send me those parts. Those upgraded parts. So now Fabs has seen Steve put out a video. Fabs bought this chainsaw from Steve for a discounted price. And as he's putting out these videos, he don't want to tell you what he paid. Because that would, that would show that Steve's not that bad of a guy. You should have put that part out there. Hey, I got this chainsaw for $300, but my buddy sells them for 700. I got the buddy deal. That makes Steve look good. But what doesn't make Steve look good is when you tell his price and then show a list of 400 and something dollars worth of parts that you say the chainsaw needs to perform up to your standards. So I don't know about that, man. I'm one of those, what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. I'm just looking at it objectively and not really liking the way that's going. If I was your buddy, I would be thinking you're pretty shady right there. You know, this the whole thing you went about this super wrong. So Fab starts pointing out in his videos, I got this saw, it's got a bent bumper spike. The dogs on it are bent. I had to beat it back in. It didn't have a switch. I got to switch out all these parts. And he's like, but did Steve tell me it didn't have a switch? And you can almost see, just my opinion, how much it pained him to say Steve did tell him that it was going to be missing a switch. Because he didn't want to give him a bad switch. He's like, I have this saw. Or you can wait and get one from the factory. It's going to cost a lot more. But you're going to get the good switch. You're going to get, the, what else? The coil, upgraded coil. And it may have an upgraded I don't even know what they're, 395 carburetor too. He said it'll have all the upgrades and it'll be at least up to par there. Where Steve messes up is he's always saying, I'm working on something that's going to make these better. Dude, you don't say that. Because people that bought them from you right then feel like, why did he do that? I would just wait till it's better. Why is he selling it to me when it's not up to it's not good enough? Why is he selling it to me? So they start to get it. There's where Fabs probably gets offended. Is, whoa, I just got this chainsaw from him. Now he's talking about this updated carb. So Fabs puts in a comment. Feel free to send me those free parts at your convenience. Very passive aggressive, because at the time they're arguing. But if that's your style, that's your style. He says, but if you don't want to, that's on you. Life goes up for me. But if you were any kind of man, you'd send me those free parts. Dude, you kind of did your buddy dirty. Now you want some free parts? See, then you start questioning his customer service over there. His customer service is poor and this and that. Now, I've seen Steve threaten lawsuits on everybody. Everybody. He just said that your customer service is shit. That doesn't affect your business. That don't affect your ability to yada, 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 yada. How does this guy not end up in your lawsuit? Is he not affecting you? Like all the other guys were? I just feel like it's funny that these are the two guys that were threatening suing on people. Like, I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue you. You threaten lawsuits on people for their opinions. You never heard of freedom of speech? I don't have to like you. There's no rule says I got to like you. Deal with it. So, we move on. Fabs points out this spark plug differences in one of his videos and says that he doesn't mess with knockoff stuff. But he was just in a video, maybe it's the video right after that. He starts talking about this plan where he's going to take these Chinese knockoff chainsaws that he's going to buy from this guy. He's going to put these parts on them. He's going to resell them retail them for $900. Dude, you're starting to talk out of both sides of your mouth now. Like, That's just facts. Like, I'm sorry if you don't like it, but it's just facts. Um, yeah, I think that's what. I wonder what the plan was between him and Steve. They had some kind of plan where he was sending him a saw for a discount, and he was going to hop it up because I remember Steve. Steve, you put out a video talking about porting is useless. You got a guy that knows how to fix enough parts that you can get enough gains that it makes porting almost useless. So was that guy Fabs? Is Fabs the guy that was? Because you put out a video, I just watched it, where you said that. So it's like, well, it sounds like him and Fabs had maybe some kind of an agreement. That's why he got the chainsaw for cheap. But maybe not. Maybe not. But Fabs is saying they had like this agreement where he was going to improve on the chainsaw. And so he starts asking for, not only does he ask for these extra free parts, which I think is, dude, come on. What did I say here? Okay, then he says, I didn't ask for anything for free. But in the same breath, asked Steve to send him another power head, another chainsaw, because that's all Steve sent him. He didn't send him a bar. He probably said he didn't need it. He just said, send the power head. So he asked Steve to send him another one so that he could have a stock one. So that's not true that you didn't ask for something for free. You asked for him to send you one free of charge for you to make videos and do comparisons. Maybe Steve brought that idea up to you. Or maybe you brought it up to him. But I don't know. This is what I'm seeing. What's up, AAA Tree Service? How are you? So, you can't say that you didn't ask for nothing for free when you did. So, he wanted to make some comparison videos, and this is what makes me think that they did have this plan of putting these parts in, these aftermarket parts, that were going to increase the horsepower and make the saw better. I feel like they did have this plan behind the scenes, because if you start linking all these things together, it comes off that way. It seems that way. So, my opinion, I feel like he's trying to talk Steve into selling him saws for cheaper so that he can improve them. And maybe he's not even wanting over here. He's not really writing off himself a profit, because he said he's making them he's getting them for $400. He can get them, and then he can turn around. But was Steve the guy you could get them for $400? Did he say make a deal for you or something? Because he thinks you need a steel bar and this and that. So there's something going on there. If they were upfront dudes, they would just come out and say all this, and someone wouldn't have to spend their time doing detective work to figure this BS out. But there's something going on there. But that is what it is. So I just think Steve was offended by this, and then he was like over any kind of little ideals and stuff that they had after that. I don't think he cared anymore. So Steve leaves a comment saying to Fabs that, because Fabs says, I went and bought this saw and paid this much, and my guy sells them for $700, but he's like, I'm not going to tell you what I paid for the saw. Well, there was an agreement with you and Steve, according to Steve, that you wouldn't talk about the bent up dog that was on. But you did. that you wouldn't talk about the ignition coil that needed to be switched out, or that it was missing a switch. I feel like there was a big miscommunication between you two, and it just seems almost to me like one of you is just completely off. I don't know which one, but maybe it was more like I'll say whatever I have to get the product in my hand, and then I'm gonna just give my real opinion, which I don't like that. I think that's shady, you know. But maybe that's not what happened. So Fab says that he wanted the saw, and he did not want a new one from the factory. This is what Steve says. So Steve says Fabs just wanted to see what it would do in the wood. And then Fabs gets it and trashes it, basically, saying it needs $400 in parts. And Steve says that's BS. So Fabs then asked Steve to send him this is where he asked to send the upgraded power head at his convenience. So he's saying now, just okay, if you don't want to send me the parts, I'll send you this one back. Send me the upgraded chainsaw when you get it in. And it's like, whoa, okay, is that your agreement? That's weird. Daniel, hey, thanks for hanging out, brother. I gotta end this pretty quick too. I'm getting tired. I didn't even tell my wife I was coming out here, but he did ask him to send him another, and he does it in a very passive aggressive way. And Steve says he will be sending nothing more, and Steve's very offended now. So Fabs then gives Steve spark plug advice and kind of gaslights him in the comment. He tells him, you know, you need to be using these spark plugs because the one you sent me had a chip. He's still not saying anything good about saw. He does at times say, it does cut, it does run. But like, come on. That's come on. That's to make your brain mush. Yeah, I know. So let's see. Says if Steve would, oh yeah, he tells Steve, he's like, if you were any kind of a good guy, you'd send me those parts. And I'm like, oh man, now he's gaslighting him hard. This is getting funny. So Fab says in a video, he's like, I just got 2 emails, and if he can get these in the emails, people are asking if you can get these Pro Mag chainsaws to match a 572, I think, then they want to buy one. So that's when he breaks down the pricing of everything, and he goes and does this in depth. It'll be 400 something, 60 something dollars or something in parts. I can get the saws for 400. So let's say we retail them at 900, and that's where I think Steve was then very offended because it's like almost like you're competing with him, and he's like, "What the hell?" And all of it's funny to me. Like you guys are being very silly, but Fabs won't tell what he bought it for, but he tells how much Steve sells them for, which is a little weird. And then he almost like he's trying to like fib his buyers in the video. I don't know. Like I think he was trying to gaslight Steve into selling him some saws cheaper by saying, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to let Steve know, hey, I can get him for 400 over here, because he was very aggressive about it. He's like, you're not the only one. We don't live in a desert. You're not the only one with drinking water. This guy's got it for cheaper. And right on. I would be more forward and be like, you charge too much for your chainsaw, and this guy don't charge as much. This like passive aggressive way of wording things, that way if it offends you can get out. Like, I don't know, man. It's just different these days. Like, I don't understand 90% of it. So now Fabs was justifying paying $900 for one of these chainsaws. He said that's what he would retail them at. And all this, I think, started from a comment in one of Fab's videos where he brought up the $700, and Steve seen the dude who left the comment, and he was so worked up about it. That's what one of his videos was about. And he's like, it's not like that's not an expensive price. Like it's got so much into it, yada yada yada. You know what Steve says, but Fabs basically could care less what that comment says because he comes in at $200 more than Steve. So like, if Steve's shady, well, I mean, what's going on here? This is crazy. But Fabs does say it may be just better off to go buy a real saw. So I got to give him that. And he gets brownie points because he said he was going to. I still want to see that he donates some money to charity. I'll believe that when I see it. But you get some points for saying that you were going to do that for me. So, JJ, what's going on? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Fab says he was supposed to improve the saw, and then he says, "Where's my glasses?" Or what? No, he calls them, "Where's my goggles? Where's the tools? Where's the gloves? Where's the jug?" Like he got down that dirty with Steve. Like, come on, dude. You wanted a discounted saw. Like, you. He got petty. He says, "I want my little plastic jug." And I'm like, oh no. He's mad too. They're both worked up. So, basically, Fabs did what Indiana Doug did, just in a different way. But so if Steve doesn't get very offended and threaten lawsuits, I don't know how I feel about this. I know that Indiana Doug left a comment and says that it doesn't matter how the saw is. Some people buy that saw to use it as is, and they know that you're getting a cheap chainsaw and that it's not going to be the best. They expect that because of the price. But other people buy it and they don't care how it runs because their intention is to tear it apart and build it. So he's basically siding almost a little bit with both there. Like, Steve can make whatever kind of saw and charge whatever he wants. Like, and after it's out of his hands, the intent of the person who buys it needs to be none of your business. He shouldn't have got offended by anything that Fabs did. It's no longer your saw, Bubba. Like, and if you have a quality product, you would be making videos right afterwards. And you can't deny it because I watched them both. You made 2 videos and you were very upset, calling Fabs a liar and this and that. You pulled them down, maybe because you were scared Fabs was going to see him and what he would do, or I don't know, man. But here's the thing that I'll bet the end. This we're to the end. I'll talk to you guys for a little bit and we'll end this. But this is the part I don't like. Steve puts out a video and says, "Okay, since Fab's gonna tell you this, I'm gonna tell you this, and this, and this, and since he wants to, start, he wants to tell the truth, I'm gonna tell the truth." How about you both tell the truth from the get-go? That's just, I don't know if either one of you have thought about that. But I found it very, very, very strange that both of you put out videos saying, since he's going to tell the truth, I'm going to tell the truth. Kind of weird, huh? Kind of weird. I would hope you both would just tell the truth and be upfront, and no one's going to have a problem with you. Steve, you're allowed to do whatever the hell you want to do. Fabs, you're allowed to do whatever the hell you want to do. After that chainsaw got in your possession, I don't give a damn what you paid for it. You can do with it as you please. It's yours. So, do your thing. But what I don't want to hear is either one of these two complaining about the other one. You two were buddies against the world a couple days ago, and now you're both trying to convince us that the other one's bad. Like, get over it. You guys need to get over it. Do your thing. Fabs seems like he can probably move on and disregard all this a little quicker than Steve can. But both of you, I think I don't want to hear it. I think there was shady things done on both sides. I think Fabs knows some things that he could probably say about Steve that would make Steve look bad, but you shouldn't have been keeping them things a secret to begin with. So if you got secrets, you're shady for keeping them. Because this guy's playing with people's money. He's selling a product. So if you want to say it's amazing and it's good, let it be amazing and good. And stop trying to control the narrative all the time. Sell a quality chainsaw for whatever damn price that you want. And if somebody wants to buy it from you and resell it, they can do that. And get more money, they can do that. They don't gotta like it when they get it. They can do that. You're only supposed to sell it, then forget about it. If it's a good product, its reputation will hold up. That's how a product works. So that's all I got to say about it. Both you need to stop whining about the other one. Stop trying to get the other one in more trouble. Stop complaining, because you both are wrong in my book. Because you both had your checkbooks out ready to start a lawsuit, didn't you? Why don't you two should sue each other. That's what you should do. You should both sue each other and see who the king of sewers is. The sewer king. What do you think? Rad Dad, what up? So, I know. Normally, I'm just a regular officer out on the beat, writing tickets, citations, but sometimes you gotta slap the old trench coat on and go detective mode. So, I think this case has been solved, and I think you're both just weird. So what's up with everybody else? Yeah. I wish everybody could have seen the videos and how mad he was, though. It was so funny. He looked like he had been stressing. He just forgot to shave, and you know how he records the video and it's right here and he's in his nostrils and stuff. It's wild, but yeah, it's funny. So yeah, that's all I got for you. I appreciate you guys giving me all your time as usual. I appreciate it. Thanks for the super chat, COVID. I appreciate you. And Rad Dad, Dan, Chris, Ground Pounder, all you guys. I'll catch you guys next time. And Triple A, trying to remember who all was here. I'm trying my best. I'm scrolling back. JJ. Daniel left us a long time ago. But bye again, Daniel. All right, guys. I got to go. Stay safe. Yeah, have a good week. Enjoy your week. We're rolling into Christmas. And I have kind of a goofy video coming for you guys, so I hope you enjoy it. I'll catch you next time. Stay safe. And don't do anything that will get some tard like me after you on the internet. Just be good. Bye.